Let's take a look. Bread and butter. When the commander of the U.S. 1st Brigade saw recon pictures of Soviet supply convoys moving to a newly created supply dump located halfway north of Nordenfurt, he decided to check it out for himself. The character of the NATO forces was generally better equipped than the Warsaw Pact armies to handle the communication breakdowns that were the hallmark of this war. There were numerous examples of Western commanders seizing the initiative and undertaking independent operations while their Soviet adversaries sat by their radios and waited for orders that never came. Soviet main attack force. Let's play bread and butter. This could be interesting. Let's take a look. What else do we have? British steel. During the war, the Soviet High Command frankly refused to cooperate with NATO plans and varied the size, location, and schedule of its offensives to suit them. The catastrophic loss of command and control due to the rising electronic warfare battlefield exacerbated this problem. The Battle of Langistable, sorry for the pronunciation there, began and ran itself without the guidance of British General Staff, which, as things turned out, may have been a good thing. The original NATO plan for a left hook by the 22nd Armored Brigade of the 1st Armored Division against the northmost enemy spearhead would doubtless have been crushed by the sheer weight of Soviet armor and artillery that would have met the British forces. British force. What actually happened was the British missed the Soviet spearhead and plowed headlong into a follow-up force, the 40th Guards Tank Regiment, which was definitely not expecting combat at the time and place. The Soviet forces began the battle deployed in line of march, strung out along Route 4, east to west, and able to support each other, given the balance of forces was almost equal, and that the Soviets had been caught unprepared and under-deployed. Let's try this one. There's a lot of good scenarios in here. It's hard to decide which one to go for. Alright, well, let's try British steel. This may be interesting. Alright, so no flag of war. Leave the settings as they are. Alright, so player briefing. Soviet armor and infantry forces are moving along Route 4 due south of your current position. Recon reports that Soviets are moving in a road march formation and unaware of your presence. That's good. Elements of the 48 Guards Tank Division have been identified. Enemy does not appear alerted by your presence and appears to be in semi-relaxed posture. Enemy morale appears high. 22nd Armored Brigade will attack no later than 1100 south to interdict Route 4 and destroy enemy units encountered. Primary objectives are the towns of Langisobolt and Fordberg. Fire support will be provided by 40th Royal Artillery Regiment. Attack helicopter support will be available by 1100. Aviation support may be available later in the day. So let's take a look at my force roster. Some tank platoons, more tanks, mech infantry. All right, let's get started. So where are my objectives? So there's my first objective, and there's my other one. I don't know what the best way to do this is. So there's Route 4. So this is the route the Soviets are supposedly on. So I think my main plan here is I think I'm going to at least deploy my mech infantry units over here to Eamon to at least watch those bridges and watch my flank while my main force just drives straight down the N80, hits hopefully the Soviets somewhere along this road, and then from there I can split my forces as required. I think that'll work. Definitely want to maintain concentration, I think, here. So I think this main force will just drive down the N80, and then maybe I'll send this force here up these side roads towards Lincoln's Bolt. That's a lot of mech infantry, though, not a lot of tanks. But since this is actually pre-turn, I can actually rearrange my forces a little bit. Put my mech infantry on the flank. Artillery is good where it's at. What are these? Those are recce units. Do you have any other recon units? Alright, so I do have some links. Choppers. Those are mortars. We'll leave those where they're at. Scimitars. Alright, so this unit will be... Alright, so these recon units will scout my flank down the L-168 here. Main goal being to drive on Hellenthal and then kind of scout out the route, make sure nothing comes up that way. And then the rest of my... So there's my Spartans. Just taking a look at my headquarters here. Seeing who reports to who. Anybody else out of range of their headquarters? So I'm expecting some reinforcements, looks like. And possibly some flights of tornadoes. That'll be useful. Alright. Now that my forces are completely scattered here. The links is closer up. All right, I think I'm happy with that. Recon units out in front, tanks falling behind with the infantry behind them. Those units to scout my flank. And these units over here to make sure nothing flanks me on that side. I'm almost wondering if I need to deploy. Now there's an idea. Instead of driving down the N80, move my forces along the N48 to Vorberg, and then turn and come up A4 behind the Soviets. That may not be a bad plan either. Because if I do this way, then I risk my units basically being just caught out in the middle of the road between two sides. But if I come in this way, I can come in. I might be able to come in behind them. You know what? That's not a bad idea. Let's try that. So then with that, this unit then just basically gets deployed along over here to watch the N80, and then I'll put my recce units behind it. Drop the tanks over there. Gotta move my headquarters up. All right, so everything should be within command range. Move those up. We can move the lynxes up then. I like this idea better. This is going to work. Hopefully. I don't want him way out there. We'll move him into the town. All right. So recon units out in front with the tanks. My infantry readjusted behind them. And then the headquarters units behind them. These recon units to kind of drive up the N80 to kind of watch my flank. I'm a little nervous about leaving this route open, but there's nothing I can do about that. All right. So I can now give my orders. Move an assault. Vorberg. When you get there, hold. Guess I should have given this whole stack the order. Move an assault. There. There. Can I just simplify this up, actually? Can I just say move there, and will they follow the road on their own? No. Go there. There. Want them to stick along the road. Units, I believe, actually move faster when they stick along road hexes. Not sure what I just selected there to get all this to appear. Oops, not what I wanted. Not sure how I got these hexes to appear. That's strange. All right. Give my armor units, move here, then move into the town. All right, so driving the main forces up the road. Um, All right, this should work. Lots of orders to give. All right, so those units are fine where they're at. We can probably just move up my artillery units. They probably don't have to be so far back. All right, so that should be it. This is my overall headquarters. Leave it right there. And we'll drive. I'll just leave those recon units where they're at for a turn. And go 21-minute cycle. Well, they definitely know I'm here now. Alright, so armored unit is moving up the road, as it should. Tanks are engaging. Hey, this plan might actually work. Ooh, that's not good. They found my headquarters. Ouch. Alright, so recon units are approaching Vortberg. Tanks are lagging a little far behind. Do we know what these tank units these are? Does it say? T-80s, T-80s. I think those are probably T-80s as well. My recon units have taken the bridges. Now I just need my tanks to move in and help clear the town. Mech infantry looks like they're getting hung up on the bridge a little bit. It's not good. And enemy artillery is dropping right on my... Lost 2 of my recon units. Damn. Come on, where's my infantry at? Come on, infantry, get up there. Don't just stay there. Move. I really don't like that. This whole stack right here was not the plan. There we go. Hey Captain Darwin, welcome to the stream. Guess I probably should have ordered basically my artillery units to flatten the town before I advanced. Alright, so infantry's finally on the move. Alright. So I lost my recon units as that came down from the west here and tried to cross the bridges. So I lost both those platoons, but everybody else looks to be intact. The tanks those T-80s that were over here, I think pulled back. Which is strange because they actually outnumber my tanks numerically. Not that I am complaining at all. Alright, so first thing I want to do is... This is my overall headquarters, and it got hit pretty hard. So it needs to get probably pulled back and moved around a little bit. Alright, so... Oh no, this is my main headquarters. This was... Okay, so this was my armor headquarters, I think is what this is. So no, you can now just move up the road a little bit. Alright, so with that, I should get my recon units over here on this flank moved out. So their goal will be to we'll move up my recon units behind them or with them. Move deliberate, take the bridge. And I want this recon unit to move to Bergen. So hopefully that'll watch that flank. Everybody else will kind of move up the N80. Make sure that no enemy tanks are kind of coming around that way at me. And we'll save the links for when I really need it. I don't want to use them up too soon. Where to send this last recon unit? We'll have them just advance forward with everybody else. Those units have their orders. Let's get my field artillery over here. Alright, so those units have move orders. He's on barrage. That's on call. I don't suppose I have any off-map artillery, do I? No. Alright, so they're gonna move, which is good. You don't want to leave, along with never leaving your HQs in the same hex. You never want to leave your artillery in the same hex. Definitely want to spread out my units here a little bit. I do not want one of these units to get hit by a bad artillery strike and take out a whole hex. So I'm gonna probably wait out the next 24 minutes. I'll let my infantry units catch up, and then I will begin driving down the A4 towards my objective. So recon units over here in the west are moving forward. They'll try and take this bridge and move over here to Bergen. And then my links, we're gonna, like I said, we'll hold on to them. Still really nervous about having all those infantry units on this moving at the same pace. But it looks like my spearhead have pretty much taken Fordberg, and I have actually taken the victory hex. So it looks like next turn I can begin driving, assuming nothing else goes wrong here, I can begin driving down the A40, assuming my infantry catch up. Alright, infantry's caught up. That's a really bad artillery strike. Doesn't seem to have hit anything though. Have changed, day, light rain. Max visibility is 2,000 meters. Still want to know where those tank units went. So I'm going to leave a couple of my infantry units behind to hold Fordberg in case those T-80s decide to drive back on me. And watch my rear flank while my armored spearhead with the rest of my infantry drive up the A4. Alright, so visibility has changed to almost 6,000 meters. Um, did the game just lock up on me? Oh, alright, so I do have reinforcements coming in. British HQ1, QOH, which I'm not sure what that stands for, which is 3 more. Well, that's a lot of challengers. So 4 platoons of challengers. That is going to be awesome. Now they'll drive on Vordberg to help the infantry hold it. And I want to pause this and resume the map out here. Not sure how the map got zoomed in that far to begin with, but I was hurting my eyes. I like that. Here we go. Restart it. So 6 minutes. All right. So let's take a look here. All right. So we do have tanks spotted over here towards Bergen. Where did those challengers? All right. So there's my challengers. There's my new armored unit. Perfect timing, gentlemen. All right. So we're gonna move these units down. All right. So their positioning really doesn't allow them to join up with the rest of my force over here in Vordberg. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have these units come down through Paplin, or Papeln. Papeln, I think is how that's pronounced. And they'll actually come up and join my recon units. And they'll probably, I think they're going to actually start driving depending on where if any other units come forward. I think I want to make a push towards. I think I may, well, should have paid more attention because I don't want to change their orders for these mech units. I was going to say I could change these orders, have them wait, and then I can make a push towards Bergen with my combined infantry and tanks that are moving up. But I'm afraid if I change their orders now, then they may um, not get the orders in time and all that, and may start moving. All right. Well, first things first, let's at least get the tanks moved forward. All right, we'll have them move to there. When they get there, they'll hold. All right, so that one's moving forward. All right, so time to get my armored resorted here. Got my headquarters spread out. Um, right, so this headquarters, let's move it back. That's part of my charge of my um, mortars over here. So have them go to screen. They're on call. All right, so let's get my armored reorganized over here. Alright, so move in assault mode. Just start moving up the road. You're in hold mode. My Scots units are so scattered around, it's hard to tell where any one group of them are. Alright, so they'll move in assault mode. No, I don't want them in the same hex as the tanks. And then we'll leave everything else here at the moment. No, we definitely need to move the recon units though. Move deliberate.